We'll continue our discussion on Savitri Veda, Max or New Age. So we are looking at these three themes together: Savitri, Nilavati, and Shantala Devi. So some people may feel uh, some skeptical. Why Savitri is just a character in Mahabharata, or Mahabharata is not a some written for some culture, for certain it's a political, and it should not be taken seriously. Or they are old and they are not long relevant. Similarly, why should we think about Max told in Sanskrit? After all, we want modern Max mastery. And Shagundala Devi is just only solving puzzles. So one can be critical of the three themes. Savitri, or understanding Max presented in Sanskrit, or puzzle solving. So I want to. So these are the critical thinking, rational stick. Just we need modern Max. We have to master modern Max. So why we have to look at this heritage, spirituality. Okay. So actually, I felt some discussions by C.Rajagoplachari has written a book for Bhagavad Gita, and he has written for students. So some of his introduction is relevant to this theme. Why we should be bothered about Savitri? Why we should be bothered about Indian Max presented by earlier in Sanskrit? That why we should be take interest in solving mathematical puzzles. Okay, so I want to know for Bhagavad Gita. He has given some discussion which are relevant here. So I will read those some passages, some introductory observations. Anyway, I find this is a very interesting, simple book, small book, Bhagavad Gita. Which, yet, okay, one should. So, in the introduction, he has written in. It may be asked why anyone should worry about the unknown or what is it. The answer is that to ignore the real is foolish. See, what happens is generally people think all the Gita is what of Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a story. Why should I read it? Okay? The idea is people may think, it may be asked why anyone should be worry about the unknown. What is it? The answer is to ignore the real is foolish. The unknown is no less real because it is unknown. We know this much about it, that it is there and has profound relation to all that exists, including ourselves. How then can we ignore it? The gap in human perception, we know is not a void, but filled with the most important reality, although we can't dive into it, analyze it, or understand it. In the material world, does not the mathematician deal with quantities that are too great, too small for definition, with the expression that are for the human understanding holy and real? Infinity, zero, such are not neglected in mathematics, but grow greatly to make up a science which actually helps engineers and mechanics to build real and useful construction. The insoluble and infinite are neither unreal nor useless even for practical life. What is said in Gita, the Upanishad, and other holy books of the world may often be not as precise as clear as we want it to be. The explanation are as satisfying as the proofs we find in the physical sciences. This is necessarily so because the matter is wholly different and the approach and method of application also must differ. Things within the domain of human reasoning can be defined and proved. For the understanding of the things beyond, faith and meditation have to function. The scriptures and holy books may be looked upon as helps to assist government meditation, by which alone the human mind can get glimpse into the truth beyond. By cultivation of positive mind and action and meditation and prayer, what sounded first but as an empty jingle of antithetic phrases gets substance and meaning. What was obscure gets a strange and new light, by which we may see through dimly, even though we may not all be able to relate to others, that it was our Father's will. Fathers saw, thus again we may also see. A Vavakan spread is necessary to understand any religion. to start with a suspicion that the founder and teachers of religion alien were skillful deceivers, interested in some scheme of self-advancement or advances of some particular class, and the rest of the people are duped to regard this with unbounded reverence and affection is foolish in the extent. Masses of the people, as Indians, from whom innate we have inherited all the intellect, we first were as practical as we are, were as interested in knowing the truth about man and things as we are, if it may put so, as suspicious as we are. They had probably as much intellectual acumen as we have, and had indeed more time to examine man and things, to believe that they were duped, and that among them there were not men intelligent bold enough to prevent the mischievous to proceed on a wholly wrong assumption. The religion that had commanded devotion of successive generations of normal women in any country have done so because by direct personal contact at first, by experience handed down as tradition from one generation to another. The founders and teachers of the religion were known to their contemporaries to be good, sincere, deep-thinking men, worthy of being followed. It is not merely wrong to display the detective police mentality when studying a religion. It incapacitates one even to understand it. Undoubtedly, personal class interests have perverted religion as they have perverted other institutions. But to confuse the later with the earlier and to impute fraud to the source is an unscientific attitude of mind in the investigation of truth. The rishis of our land who have bequeathed to us great thoughts were rishis and no less. It is in a spirit of reverent affection that we should approach the study of an ancient scripture. So the idea is what he is saying, telling about Gita, will be relevant for me to Savitri. Okay, that is why I am given these details. Why I have to study Savitri? This Rajagoplachari answers. Thank you.